The greatest trick the vulnerable play is begging to be seen. But the master of power knows that the shadows are far more comfortable and infinitely more lethal. When you are ignored, overlooked, or cast aside in a crowded room, your instinct is to fight it. You want to speak louder. You want to prove your worth. You want to force them to acknowledge you. Niccolò Machiavelli would look at your desperation and smile. He would tell you that you are throwing away the most potent weapon in your tactical arsenal. To be ignored is not a defeat. It is a clean slate. It is a strategic vacuum. While they think you are nothing, you become the one thing they never saw coming. Let's talk about how we weaponize the cold sting of social invisibility. Let's look at the world through the eyes of the man who literally wrote the book on power. The illusion of the empty room. Imagine walking into a high-stakes corporate office in New York, a trendy coffee shop in Austin, or a high-end social gathering in Los Angeles. The room is loud. People are aggressively posturing, throwing their titles around, desperate to anchor themselves to the highest status person in sight. And then there is you, left out of the conversation, ignored at the edge of the circle. The average person feels a toxic mix of shame and anxiety here. Their heart rate spikes. They check their phone to look busy, scrolling mindlessly through apps just to avoid looking like a social outcast. They feel small, but a true practitioner of Machiavellian psychology sees this exact moment as an absolute gift. Niccolò Machiavelli observed that the vast majority of human beings are blinded by their own vanity. They only look at what shines, what roars, and what threatens them immediately. If you are not actively making noise, their brains register you as a piece of the furniture. You become background noise. This is where your supremacy begins. When people believe you have no power, they stop guarding themselves around you. They talk a little too loudly in the office break room. They let their corporate masks slip during happy hour. They reveal their alliances, their insecurities, and their ultimate vulnerabilities, because they assume you aren't even worth censoring themselves for. While they are busy playing for the cameras, you are collecting data. You are mapping the terrain. In visibility, you are a target. In invisibility, you are a ghost. And a ghost can walk through any door undetected. Stripping the need for validation, the modern American landscape is practically fueled by the economy of attention. We are trained from birth to chase likes, approval, and external validation. We treat social recognition like oxygen, panicking when an email goes unanswered, or when a group chat goes silent after we send a message. Machiavelli understood that the moment you need someone else's validation, you have handed them the remote control to your life. You have made yourself a subject, not a prince. In his classic text, The Prince, Machiavelli repeatedly emphasizes that a ruler must depend entirely on their own resources and intrinsic strength, never on the fickle favor of the masses or the shifting whims of peers. When a coworker cuts you off in a meeting, or a friend group plans an outing right in front of you without extending an invitation, they are attempting to exert a form of passive dominance. They are silently broadcasting a message: you do not matter enough for my attention. If you react with anger, sadness, or a desperate attempt to rejoin the group, you confirm their power over you. You have accepted their premise. You have told them that their attention is a currency you are willing to beg for. Instead, you must adopt an absolute stoic detachment. You must view their neglect not as a personal insult, but as a severe tactical error on their part. They are miscalculating. They are leaving their flank completely exposed because they assume you are harmless and defeated. Let them think it. Drink in the silence. Use that exact moment to sever the emotional umbilical cord connecting you to their approval. When you truly do not care whether they look at you or not, you become completely unpredictable. and nothing unnerves a manipulator quite like a person they cannot read. The workplace dynamics, turning coldness into data lets bring this down to earth. Think about the daily grind. We've all experienced that one manager who treats your project updates like white noise, or the clique at work that suddenly stops talking the moment you walk into the break room. Your immediate emotional reaction might be resentment. You want to work twice as hard to prove them wrong, or maybe you want to slam your laptop shut and log off for the day. Machiavelli would call both reactions a massive waste of leverage. When you are socially sidelined in a professional environment, you are granted a rare corporate superpower: total immunity from the drama. While your co-workers are exhausting themselves fighting for the spotlight, sucking up to the boss, and stabbing each other in the back to climb the ladder, you are completely off the radar. This means you can operate with total freedom. You can build your skills, optimize your workflow, and position yourself for your next big move without anyone trying to sabotage you. They won't see you as a threat until you've already secured the promotion or lined up a better offer. Never interrupt an enemy while they are making a mistake. If they want to ignore your potential, let them be blindsided by your results. The suburbia and neighborhood Cold War. This dynamic doesn't stop when you clock out. It follows you right to your front door. Think about neighborhood politics, the local home meetings, the backyard barbecues, or the school pickup lines where certain parents form exclusive whispering circles. When you walk by and receive a tight-lipped, superficial nod, or worse, total evasion, the natural human response is to feel isolated. You wonder if your lawn isn't manicured enough, or if your lifestyle doesn't fit their curated mold. Machiavelli would advise you to view this petty exclusion as an absolute defensive barrier. In The Prince, Machiavelli notes that fortress walls are useless if the citizens inside are constantly plotting your downfall. By being excluded from the neighborhood clique, you are automatically exempted from their trivial feuds, their gossip cycles, and their endless social obligations. While they spend their weekends stressing over who attended whose dinner party, you are left entirely alone to build real, tangible wealth and focus on your family. Your quiet, unbothered lifestyle becomes an enigma to them. They wanted to make you feel small, but your complete indifference signals that their entire social ecosystem is beneath your concern. You don't need to fit into their neighborhood kingdom when you are busy building your own empire. Executing the silence that unnerves so. How do we operationalize this in day-to-day encounters? How do we take the cold shoulder from an arrogant acquaintance or dismissive peer and turn it into a psychological mirror? You do it by executing a controlled presence. When someone deliberately ignores you, gives you a short, dismissive answer, or looks past you to talk to someone more important, your counter-move is not to defend yourself. Your counter-move is to offer a complete lack of reaction. No forced smiles. No defensive posture. No nervous clearing of the throat or playing with your watch. Just a calm, steady, unblinking gaze. Human psychology dictates that nature abhors a vacuum. When you refuse to fill the silence with nervous energy, the other person's brain will automatically begin to spiral. They will start asking themselves questions. Why aren't they upset? Do they know something I don't? Have I just made a massive mistake? Machiavelli noted that human beings are inherently anxious creatures, constantly projecting their own insecurities onto the world around them. By matching their coldness with an unbothered "I" in silence, you force them to overcompensate. Watch closely in your daily life, whether in a university seminar, a family dinner, or a project alignment meeting. The person who tries too hard to freeze you out will eventually be forced to break their own ice. They will ask a clumsy question, make an awkward joke, or double down on an aggressive comment just to see if they can get a rise out of you. And the moment they do, they have lost. They have broken their own narrative to deal with your silence. You have successfully shifted the power balance without uttering a single syllable. Social landscapes and digital invisibility. This dynamic plays out heavily in our personal lives and digital spaces too. Consider the modern phenomenon of being left on read, or seeing stories of a party you weren't invited to posted all over social media. The low-value response is to double text, ask "Are we good?" or post a passive-aggressive quote on your own feed to show how little you care. Everyone sees right through that. It screams that you are deeply wounded by their lack of attention. Machiavelli would advise an entirely different route: total ghost mode. If someone withdraws their attention to test your value, give them exactly what they asked for. Vanish completely from their psychological orbit. Do not view their stories. Do not interact with their updates. When you run into them in person at a local gym or a mutual friends gathering, treat them with a polite, casual neutrality, the exact same way you would treat a polite stranger or a grocery store cashier. This hits harder than anger ever could. Anger proves they still matter to you. Casual neutrality proves they have been completely erased from your mental hierarchy. By refusing to chase them, you reverse the magnetic field of the relationship. Suddenly, they are the ones wondering why their absence didn't break you. You become a mystery they feel compelled to solve. The commercial trap. Resisting the marketplace ignore. We even see this tactic used against us by businesses and service providers. Think about walking into a high-end clothing boutique or a luxury car dealership where the sales associates actively ignore you because you aren't dressed in designer labels. They use calculated neglect as a psychological sales tool, assuming you will buy something expensive just to prove you belong. Machiavelli recognized this as an attempt to exploit your pride. When a salesperson or a service provider ignores you, do not fall into the trap of overspending to earn their respect. Your silence here is your financial protection. Walk out without giving them a second of your time, or remain completely detached while you get exactly what you came for without playing their emotional games. When you refuse to let their manufactured exclusivity dictate your self-worth, you retain your capital and your dignity. You prove that your wallet and your attention cannot be manipulated by cheap psychological tricks. The strategic pause. Regaining the narrative. Let's look at another classic Machiavellian tool, the deliberate pause. In modern communication, everything is fast. Text messages demand instant replies. Slack notifications require immediate validation. Conversations are raised to see who can speak over the other person first. When you are treated as an afterthought in a conversation, the temptation is to jump in the split second a gap opens up, speaking rapidly just to get your words out before you're cut off again. Don't do that. Instead, when it is finally your turn to speak, wait, take a deliberate 2 to 3 second pause before you say a single word. Look the person directly in the eyes. Let the silence hang heavily in the air between you. This simple pause changes the entire chemistry of the room. It signals to everyone listening that you are not running on their timeline. It shows that you are entirely comfortable in your own skin, completely unhurried and utterly dangerous. Niccolò Machiavelli heavily studied the leaders who succeeded through sheer calculated restraint. He knew that the person who controls the tempo of the interaction is the person who ultimately controls the outcome. Your words should be like coins, scarce, heavy, and valuable. When you finally speak after a deliberate pause, your input carries 3 times the weight it would have if you had scrambled to join the conversation. You force them to listen. You force them to adapt to your rhythm. The ultimate impenetrable shield at the end of the day. Power is not about who is the loudest person in the room. It is about who possesses the most self-control. The world will try to ignore you. Your boss might look past your hard work. Your peers might leave you off the guest list. A romantic interest might try to play hard to get by keeping you at a distance. Let them try. Every time they push you into the shadows, thank them for the vantage point. They think they are isolating you, but they are actually giving you the perfect space to observe. Calculate and prepare. To quote the underlying essence of Machiavelli's philosophy, it is far better to be feared and respected for your calculating depth than to be loved for your superficial noise. Transform their neglect into your absolute tactical advantage. The next time you find yourself being ignored, do not get angry. Smile, step back into the vacuum, and let your silence do the heavy lifting. They won't see you coming until it's already over.